Hello everybody, this is Ope from Fab Trips, and I am here to give you some updates on what's going on in the cruise industry. Over the last couple of weeks, a lot has changed. Since then, we've seen an increase in sailing around the world. For instance, in the UK, pretty much all the cruise lines are going to be sailing there in May, since the UK government announced that they want May 17th to be the date that travel will resume, particularly the cruising industry. So that's going to happen in the UK. Now, all the major cruise lines are going to be there, except of course for Carnival. But obviously you have Princess and you have P&O Cruises, which are all part of the Carnival group. So really, Carnival Corporation of Carnival Group is represented there. So you have major cruise lines who are going to be going to the UK to cruise. Of course, prior to that, you know that there was an announcement by Royal Caribbean that they were going to start cruising from Israel. And prior to that, we know the Grandiosa has been cruising the Mediterranean for months now, as well as Royal Caribbean obviously cruising from Singapore also for a while now. But in addition to that, you have Royal Caribbean, you have celebrities who have decided to cruise out of some Caribbean islands. So all these developments have become a pressure point to the CDC. Now, to make matters worse for the CDC and the mounting pressure that they are experiencing, the CDC Director was interviewed, or rather was questioned by Senator Murkowski, Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, regarding cruising, and she fumbled that interview. Not only did she fumble, she stumbled, she mumbled. It was obvious she did not know much about what's going on. Now, to add even more pressure to her, you know, one of the commissioners, the Federal Maritime Commissioners, released a report last year saying that cruising should resume. And he detailed the economic impact of the no cruise order to the US, essentially saying $15 billion in direct impact and $40 billion in indirect impact. And he even furthermore went to say that it is how it impacts individual businesses and individuals that got to him the most. And one of the things he released recently was that the CDC should really resume cruising, and that they should mandate vaccinations. So essentially, anyone who wants to cruise needed to be vaccinated. Now, to pile more pressure on the CDC, a few weeks ago, the Miami-Dade mayor wrote a letter to the CDC Director requesting to meet with her and discuss the cruising industry, especially in Miami, with her because of the economic impact of no cruising to the Miami-Dade economy, and I guess the Florida economy at large. And then the governor had a roundtable discussion with cruise leaders, and he released a statement asking the CDC to lift the no-sail order. Now, the latest we have right now is the Miami-Dade mayor released a report saying they had a great meeting with the CDC Director, or that she had a great meeting with the CDC Director, and she was very happy about the development. But here's some things that she said that I thought was pretty interesting. I was very encouraged by my call today with at CDC Gov, and excited to learn they will be issuing new guidelines for a safe restart to cruising. Miami-Dade is ready to partner with the CDC to make sure the cruise capital of the world can lead the way to rebuild this critical industry. So this is actually quite interesting, and this is really just now. Do I believe this? I don't know. And the reason I say this is very simple. If there is one group that is good at stalling, it is the CDC. Now, don't let us forget that the current framework for conditional sailing was instituted way back at the end of October, and we're still in phase 1. And they promised phase 2 will be coming out shortly, and they've been promising for months now. Now, here's the thing I know about the CDC. The CDC is always going to be skittish about removing the ban on sailing. And the reason is very simple. They will not jeopardize people's lives. I mean, which is what they're supposed to do. That is what the CDC is there for. Now, you could argue that, hey, what about the economic impact on people's lives? Yes, it has devastating economic impacts on people's lives. But as long as you cannot draw a straight line from the CDC's decisions to deaths, the CDC will not act on it. However, you can draw a straight line from a COVID-19 infection to deaths. The CDC will stick to their no-sale order. And that's the way the CDC operates. So I'm happy about what the Miami-Dade mayor said. And I think it's probably a ray of sunshine. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I'm not quite sure what or how soon the CDC will react to this. But here's another interesting thing that the Miami-Dade mayor said. We were very encouraged by our call today with the CDC Director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, Division Director, Dr. Martin Citron, and the CDC team to discuss the safe return of cruising in the U.S. I was impressed by the director's knowledge of the industry and her empathy to the economic hardships the loss of this business has caused. That is interesting. She was impressed by her deep knowledge. Remember, a few weeks ago, she had a conversation with Lisa Murkowski, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and she fumbled and mumbled. So I don't know, maybe this was the way in which the Miami-Dade mayor was trying to, soothe her, I don't want to say ego, but it tells me one thing. She has gone to learn a lot about the cruise industry, and she is now very well versed about what's going on in the cruise industry, which I think it's a good thing. She now knows more about cruising than she ever thought she would know in her entire life, and that is a good sign. Now the question is, when will cruising resume in the US? For cruising to resume, cruise lines need to know at least 3 months ahead, at least. I think some can rebound faster, but at least 3 months ahead before they can actually organize anything. So the question is, when will cruising resume? Well, we are in April. We have April, May, and June. So it's unlikely that cruising will resume in the summer. I really doubt it. Now, Carnival Corporation or Carnival Cruise Line still has June cruises on their page, but I think it is going to disappear, except the CDC releases something this week that actually shows a direct path to opening in the next 3 months. Now, I think an August start might actually work. However, look at the COVID cases. It bottomed out and then it's now ticking just slightly upward. I think the critical data that the CDC is going to be looking at will be the death rates. Typically, the death rates track along with the COVID infections, but it tracks maybe 3-4 weeks behind. And so the CDC is going to be looking at how the death rates track with the infection rates. If the death rates begin to diverge from the infection rates, then that is a good sign. It means the vaccinations really have started kicking in, and instead of the death rates to track upward with the infection rates like it has done previously, and it's now actually tracking downwards, I think the CDC will feel more comfortable and say, okay, here is a plan or here is a target date for the resumption of cruising. So what the Miami-Dade mayor has released is actually, I think, great news. It's great news because it means the CDC director at least now knows more about cruising than she ever knew in her entire life. And two, she has promised that they are going to release something soon. It is that soon that actually gets me a little bit worried, because I don't know what soon means. Soon was used last year, and 5 months later, we're still nowhere further than where we were last year. So let's wait and see. But I think we're on a path to something good. We're on a path to resuming sailing. But honestly, for all those who have June and July booked, I'm not optimistic about them. Sorry, but August, I believe August, cruising will resume in the US. That's just my thought. But looking at everything, the vaccinations, the goals of the Biden administration, it looks like we may be able to begin sailing out of the United States in August. So I'll try and keep you updated, but things change very quickly. But as soon as news breaks on the cruise industry, I will surely let you know. However, if you're looking for cruising, for a place to cruise in June, try Royal Caribbean, try Celebrity Cruises. They'll be cruising out of some Caribbean islands in June. So that's a good thing. But for the US, I think we may have to wait till August. If I'm wrong and they start sooner, great. If I'm wrong and they start later, I hope not. So till next time, please like and subscribe, and see you later. Bye.